Establishing new patterns in your life. We can get stagnant in the body, the mind, and the spirit when we are stuck in a routine that never seems to change. This can cause us to get stuck in a rut. A pattern is a manifestation of a psychic force that is active in your life. And because thoughts are energy, the patterns in our thoughts, the physical habits that we have, and the patterns that we have in our life create old, stuck energy. In this video, I am going to share some ideas of how we get stuck in patterns, how it affects our life, and how crystallization happens in our mind and in our body. So stay tuned. Hello, my beautiful friends. My name is Carrie Cox, and welcome to my channel where we learn how to use our personal power to build a connection between our mind, body, and spirit. If this is your first time here, please hit that subscribe button and smash that bell notification button so that YouTube can notify you when future videos are released. Establishing new patterns in your life. There is a crystallization that can happen in your mind and in your body. The word crystallization means getting stuck or frozen. And this is what happens to the energy of your thought when it gets stuck. This can get stuck as a pattern of a thought, or even as a physical habit. The best way to show crystallization is to talk about the late Dr. Emoto and his water crystal experiment. He used droplets of water and examined the molecular changes to the water caused by thoughts and intentions. He used both positive and negative words, sayings, and sounds, and what he discovered was truly amazing. What he was able to show is that we have the power to alter our body by our thoughts and by the words we speak, because our body is made mostly up of water. His experiment showed that when positive words were being spoken to the droplets of water, that they would form beautiful crystal shapes. And when negative words were being spoken, the crystal droplets would take very dark formations, not so pretty. And so we must remember that when we speak ill of ourselves, that the water inside of us is not creating a beautiful form. So how can we keep from crystallization taking place inside of us? Well, we can establish new thought patterns and new physical daily patterns and habits in our life. Whenever we feel like we're in a rut, the first thing we think of doing is going and taking a vacation. And we temporarily fix this rut by getting away and changing our daily routine. This usually takes us away from our problems temporarily, and we're able to bring some joy into our life. Maybe a few times a year we'll schedule a vacation and we'll get away and we won't be doing our normal daily grind. We force ourselves to experience some joy in our life, and then we go back to the daily grind and we go back to those same usual patterns and habits. But we can take things a step further. We don't have to use a temporary vacation to change up the energy in our life. We can just change up some of our daily patterns and habits. So if you're somebody who every day wakes up at the same time and makes the same morning breakfast, it's time to change those things. Maybe wake up and do a yoga routine, or shake that energy up within you and try something new. Maybe you sleep in a little longer, or you add a morning meditation to your day. We have to remember that the mind rules the body and the body rules the mind. So we want to shake up our energy physically, mentally, and emotionally. Establishing new patterns in one's life. Those habits and patterns aren't always necessarily negative patterns. Maybe they just are no longer contributing to our growth anymore. Maybe at one time they did serve us well and it did serve a purpose, but now we no longer need that pattern. Now it's just past vibrations clogging up space around us and not serving any real purpose anymore. Establishing new patterns. If we've had mental patterns that we've adopted sometimes new experiences cannot be experienced because we have what's called a psychic wall around us. We can break through these psychic walls. A great way to do this is with exercise. When we move our body, we move stagnant energy within our body, and it gets all shaken up. And when we change ourselves physically, we change ourselves mentally as well. We can also use positive thought programming to plant new seeds of life experience in the mind. We can do this with affirmations. So, I was grabbing my journal book, and in my journal book, I write down affirmations that I carry around with me. I may use a positive affirmation that could help me change the patterns in my mind. So what we're doing is we're removing unwanted patterns and we're putting in new ones. So if you want to use this one, go ahead and write it down, but I might say something like, my divine self is constructing new thought patterns of a positive nature in my mind this moment, and I accept that they are already mine. For this I give thanks, and so it is. So I might repeat that several times a day if I'm trying to focus on changing my thoughts. Another one that I might use is, I call forth into the center of my mind, to the God of the universe, that healing energies radiate new positive thought patterns into my subconscious mind. I give thanks that I am heard, and so it is. Okay, so those are two examples of some positive thought programming that I may repeat several times a day if I'm trying to change a thought form in my mind. Now, something important to touch upon, just so that you guys are aware, just because we are spiritual does not mean that every day of our life we have sunshine and roses and never have any negative experiences or challenges in our life. No, this is not even possible, okay? Because life is full of ups and downs, and it's in our challenges where we actually grow and learn. So we are going to experience negative self-talk sometimes. Even though I use affirmations, I still have my moments where I catch a glimpse of myself in the mirror and have a disturbing thought about the way my body looks. It's not that we're never going to experience these negative thought patterns. Challenges are still going to come our way, and it's because sometimes these challenges or phases in our life that may seem demanding to us is the universe pushing us to change something, and possibly in the end it could be for your own greater good. So I just saw this happen with my son a few weeks ago. He had a very negative experience at work. He's been wanting to make that shift into more of a career-oriented job. He hadn't made that shift yet, and so the universe presented him with a very challenging situation, which was exactly what he needed to push him and to motivate him into making changes in his career and in his job. Without that challenge that he had to overcome, he wouldn't have got the motivation or the desire to get pushed beyond what he was ready for. And he now found an amazing opportunity that is something that can turn into a lifelong career for him, but he may not have taken that risk if the universe wasn't pushing him to change. And in the end, this could be for his own greater good. So even though in the moment it felt like a challenging situation, what it's going to end up being is something that was done for his own greater good. And so we don't want to necessarily push all the negative challenges out of our life, because it's not important to eliminate them. What's important is how we handle the challenge in the moment of the challenge. What we need to do is realize that it's about not eliminating challenges, but how we handle them. So when we're faced with something challenging, we may feel in that moment that our life is unraveling around us. And this usually happens for people who are not tapped into their spiritual side. If you are not plugged into the universe or not plugged into your spiritual side, you will feel in these moments that life is unraveling and that it's just too much for you to handle. But when you plug into your spiritual side, you can overcome any challenge with strength and with courage. In the moment, you may not understand how or why it's benefiting you, but at some point, you're going to see the benefits of the circumstances. You're going to see the reasons for the circumstance in your life. One of the reasons we need to make change and create space in our lives is so that we can manifest. It is hard to manifest when you have so much old that you have to remove from your life, because we need to make space for new things to come forth. If I had a closet that was completely jammed full of clothes, how could I buy another piece of clothing because I have nowhere to put it? At that point, I'm just cluttered by physical possessions. There is nowhere for it. But if I clean out my closet and I get rid of all of the old stuff, it makes space for the new. The energy around our fields is also the same way. It can get cluttered with old energies. Our mind can get bogged down with old thought patterns. We want to clear these away to make space for new. If we're trying to bring new things into our life, we need to release old stuff. And I want to talk about techniques that can help us change these patterns. One way to change these patterns is to ground. Grounding is so beneficial. It is a great way to connect to the earth. When you walk around barefoot out on the ground, you are allowing the earth to pull negativity from your body. If you put your hands on a tree or hug a tree, you will instantly feel better. And this is because the tree is able to take the negative energy in your field away from you, pull it down through its roots, and distribute it back into the core of the earth, where the earth can transmute it from negative energy or emotions or thoughts into either positive energy or neutral energy. And this does not cause any harm to the tree. And that's what's so amazing, is that these trees have deeply planted roots, and it releases the energy into the core of the earth. The tree doesn't hold on to the energy. Just like when you pet your dog and your dog shakes itself off after you pet it. If you've ever noticed, dogs have a way of releasing the energy off of their body as well. My dogs even take it a step further, and I will notice that if somebody is petting them, not only will they shake afterwards, but they will actually go outside and lounge out in the grass in the sunlight and release the energy that way as well. Nature is extremely smart when it comes to getting rid of the things in its surroundings. We humans are the ones that are more ignorant when it comes to this kind of thing. We are not taught as young children to release the energy. We have a tendency to hold on to things and not let go of them. We form too many attachments to things, to people, to energy. And so it's about learning how to let go of these old patterns, programs, thoughts, energies. Another technique you can use to clear energy is to use incense. The psychic property in incense tends to dissolve psychic thought forms that are lingering in our auric field. We have a lot of things that are lingering all around us in our atmosphere, and any kind of incense or sage or Palo Santo is a great way to dissolve those energies. You can also burn a candle. So my little altar is right here, so I'm actually going to show you what these would look like. So right here I have a piece of Palo Santo, and then I also have a sage stick, and you can burn this like this, and the smoke will dissolve the energy around you. You also want to use intention when you use this, so I don't want to just clear. I mean, you can, but it's even better if you can use an intention. So I might say something along the lines of, I clear all energy, all thought forms, anything that's old and stuck, anything that doesn't serve my highest good. So I may say something simple and easy like that. I just made that up off the top of my head. I have something that I typically say, but that's what came out. Another technique we can use to clear the energy around us is to visualize white auric light coming down and surrounding our bodies, providing a protective aura of light around us. And we do it in our mind, looking into our third eye, and we especially want to do this if we are having a conversation with somebody, or we've just come in contact with someone and they're triggering us, or they're having some sort of influence over us and we feel we need protection. We can activate that shield around us so that we are protected and no energy from whoever we're with can take hold of our energy. Affirmations is another technique that we can use. I was giving you some examples earlier of some affirmations, but each day we can give ourselves a new affirmation, which is like a thought suggestion to help us reprogram our mind. You could do this in meditation, or you could just repeat one throughout the day. Okay, so stale thought patterns in our subconscious mind affect our senses and affects our nervous system. We can use an affirmation each morning to help with our daily habits and routines, and it could go something like this. Today, in everything I do, I will be conscious of doing it differently than I have before. I am divinely guided to do everything better. For this I give thanks, and so it is. You have the power within you to do new things. Anything can be changed. Nothing is permanent. Have patience. Practice this. Patience builds positive energy and helps positive things happen in your life. Thank you, my beautiful friends. If you've enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and share this video with all of your friends, and I will see you in the next video. Have a blessed and beautiful day, and namaste.